Hello, I'm going to demonstrate how to visualize the categorical data. Especially today, I'm gonna show you how to visualize summary data. We learned about the summary data. Suppose you did a survey on gender in a class and write them as male, female, etc. We call this is raw data. But typically this raw data is a little big size. It can be 10,000 person, million person, like that. Because of that, while some person or some institution compile this raw data in this manner as a frequency table, we call it this is a summary data. Today I'm going to show how to visualize this summary data. Usually textbook or some governmental institution, they provide the information in the form of summary data, not raw data. I'm going to demonstrate how to visualize in this manner using this kind of ESTAT icon, and I'm going to show you how to create a report using MS Word file. Then I'm going to show you what does it mean CSV file, and then how to save it, etc. Well, if you have one more class survey, how can you do that? Then maybe I'll show you how to using Excel CSV file to demonstrate in case of OECD, the life expectancy. Okay, let's go to ESTAT. Did you type estat.me, www.estat.me on your web browser? I told you the Chrome browser would be desirable. Suppose I have a summary data like this. Let's try to enter. Well, I have a male student, and then there are, let's say, 6 male students. There are also female students, 4 of them. I'd like a plot. What kind of plot, what kind of graph do you think it would be good? Before we get into there, well, sometimes it is better to have some nickname about the variable name. The default is V1, V2, V3, but you can change that by clicking edit variable like this. Let's say that this is gender, and then second variable, let's call it is certain class name. Let's name that is class 5-1. And then save and exit. Can you see the change? I change the name of a variable. How to generate graph? It's so simple. If you look at ESTAT icon, can you see that? It is a little covered by the red box. It is a default graph. If you select a certain icon, well, they're gonna show you like this. Okay. Let's use this icon. It is an icon of a bar chart. Then just click this one. It means they plot these things. It seems they count the number of male, female. Maybe it's 1 and 1 here. And therefore, they plot in this manner. We call this is first clicking is analysis variable. The second clicking, if you click this, well, they select this variable 5-1 and they plot what you want. Male and female is some kind of variable name. It goes to x-axis. Okay, you can see the frequency in this manner, 6 and 4. That's it. Suppose you have one more data. Let's say next class, male student only have 3, and female student, let's say it is 7. Then, well, let's give some name. Edit variable, this time, variable 3. Let's say this is 5-2. It's class name. And then save, exit. Suppose, let's start from the beginning. I want to plot this graph. The default selection is bar chart. Then click here. Well, we selected analysis variable. And then click next one, by group. We select 2 group variables. They consider, in case of summary data, each column considered as a group. 5-1, 5-2 classes, they plot graph like this. Well, in this kind of things, if you switch this icon, they generate some pie chart depending on classes, band graph, line graph, etc. As you know already, the categorical data, these graphs are appropriate. Okay, these are some quantitative data. Okay, in case of, let's say, bar chart, as I explained, there are so many variations. Okay? Let's look at that. This one is the same thing. Maybe it looks like the same thing, but it has 2 groups. It is useful when there are 2 or more groups. Well, what is this? It looks like they add about this number, 6 and 3, and then we call it, this is a stacked bar. Okay. Also, they add this number, it becomes 11, and they divide this rectangle into 2 pieces depending on size, 6 and 3. Like this. You can easily compare the male distribution, female distribution, depending on classes. But this one is another thing. They consider addition of this number is 100%. Out of them, what percent of the 5-1 classes, what percent of 5-2 classes, like that. 6 to 3, okay. 2 to 1. Well, the rectangle is roughly represent that. Also, this graph is popular. I named this is side by side. You can compare the 5-1, 5-2 by using the height. Okay? The bar chart can be compared by their height. That's the frequency. Also, you can split into 2 pieces, but it is in the opposite direction. This is a horizontal bar graph. It's similar to this one, but it just plot horizontally. It is another horizontal stacked bar graph. It's some kind of proportional bar graph. This is side-by-side graph. This is, bilateral graph. It's opposite side in horizontal cases, like this. Until here, maybe you can plot similar to pie chart, but it is there is a hole, look like a donut. Okay, this is it. Well, let's consider this basic graph, bar graph, compare 2 groups. Okay, I am done. I want to save this result. What you are supposed to do? If you click this button, it is graph save. You know where it is saved? It's in download folder. I'm going to show you in a minute. If you want to print something, you may click this one. Okay. I think you are familiar with this output. maybe if you click this one, well, it will be printed on the printer. It is connected. Well, suppose you saved this file. I want to save this data file. Let's say this is a sample. And then if you want to save this file, the basic is CSV style. Okay? Let's click this one. Can you see that? Sample parenthesis 1. What does it mean, parenthesis? Since there's already the same name, in the case they automatically have this subscript 1, 2, 3, like that. Let's look at what it looks like. This is my download folder. Somehow I made this graph already, this graph and data. Well, it is, I just saved the graph like this. Since we have sample data, sample.csv, they automatically have a sample parenthesis 1 like this. This is ESTEC graph 1. Okay, then suppose you want to generate a report. How can you do that? Let's try MS Word. Well, let's clean blank output. Okay, this is clean the MS Word. I want to copy this data and this graph. Okay. Well, copying data is simple. I mean, arrange range, and I use Control C. Then go back to here, Control V as usual. Then you can copy this data. Also, if you want to copy graph, you already save it here. Let's copy this graph. Control C and put it here. Okay. Well, I just copy the data. Here's a graph. And then it's time to analyze this data. Okay. You may write down whatever you want. Well, class number 1 has more male student. Class 2 has more female student, like that. That's the way of reporting. Okay, now you understand the basic operations. What other examples are there? If you click this button, this is my server. I put many examples. Well, in your case, why don't you look up the ebook folder? Here, let's say, suppose you copy the OECD, the life expectancy data. The way you copy it, the way you download this file, why don't you report textbook? If you click this is the OECD data. Depending on country, they show the life expectancy, I think it's 2017. How to plot some bar graph? Just click to variable name, that's all. In case of a single variable, well, you can sort them by clicking this. Maybe it's not easy to read this number, then you may have a horizontal graph. Well, in this way, you can see that maybe I need to sorting descending order. They show the Japan is the number 1, the longest life expectancy. Maybe Latvia is the shortest life expectancy. I don't know why. Okay, this is another summary data, which look like very practical. From any kind of governmental institution or UN, OECD, whatever that organization, they provide data in the form of summary data. You may have the raw data, but usually they prefer to provide some form of summary data. Then you can plot that. I'm going to demonstrate one more thing. Click EX button, and there is one Korean data. This is population data. In each age interval, well, they check the male population and female population. How to plot? Same thing. First, the variable name, the interval name, click here. Then click next. This is a male population. This is female population. In this case, there are many ways to compare. Maybe side by side might be help. You can see that easily the male population until age 50 is larger, but after that it is reversed. Okay? Maybe you can use a line graph. Okay? You can switch easily by clicking this icon. You can see that until this point, male population is large, but after that, the female population is large. This kind of single graph gives many meaning, many things to be considered. Why male die so early? Maybe smoking problem, the drinking alcohol problem. Well, you can think about that. In this kind of data, I think that this plot is horizontal bilateral graph. Have you seen this kind of graph? We call this is population pyramid. Well, by looking this graph, it gives you another question. What happened? We have a pot-like population distribution. It means our population is actually decreasing. And then, well, this part will be moved 10 or 20 years later, it goes up. Maybe we expect some kind of reverse triangle structure. That's not a good one. Okay? It's some more elderly person than young children. Therefore, there are lots of social issues, Medicare system, or some kind of insurance problem, many things to be considered. This single graph gives you many meaning. Okay, let's discuss some other things. This is again OECD data. You can download this file. Depending on country, they are showing the export and import data. Well, definitely China, USA is a big name. Maybe in this kind of thing, the line graph might be helpful. Okay. You can see immediately China has more export, USA has more import, like that. By selecting appropriate graph, it's easy to interpret them. Okay, I showed some categorical data in the form of summary data. I showed you how to plot graph. On the next class, I'm going to show you how to plot the raw data.